friends in yoga. Welcome back to the mat. So happy to be able to continue to share yoga with you at Farming for Fitness, which will begin in earnest very soon. But right now, we're here to share just a nice little balancing yoga practice today. So I hope this can prove of benefit to you. As you prepare, take your time to settle in. Find a comfortable seat, which means you feel solid and secure in your base. And from that space of solid and secure grounding, you can lengthen your spine, lifting up all the way through the crown of the head. Perhaps roll your shoulders a few times and let them settle into place. Check to see that the feet and legs and hips are comfortable enough that you can find that balance between effort and ease. And let's tune in to the flow of our breath and allow that breath to guide us in our movement today. So as you settle into this seat a bit more, perhaps think of sliding the collarbones right out to the tips of the shoulders and feel how that can open a little space around the heart and lungs. Let your chin soften ever so slightly toward the heart space. And as the chin softens down, let the gaze lower as well. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, by all means, allow them to softly close. Relax the jaw. Let the space between the eyebrows soften. And notice that it requires a little bit of effort and a little bit of ease to sit in a comfortable position to welcome the flow of the breath. And now really tune in to that flow. And feel the body's response to the breath. As you breathe in, allow the belly to be soft and open, expanding through the rib cage, and perhaps you feel the breath rise all the way up beneath the collarbones. And as you exhale, slide those collarbones open again, squeeze the rib cage in. And as you conclude your breath out, draw the belly in and up, squeezing that vital energy right to your core. Relaxing the belly, opening, expanding, welcoming the breath and all of its energy, its prana, as it fills you. And breathing out, squeezing the breath out to make room for another beautiful breath to follow. Continue breathing in this manner, expanding, opening, receiving the breath and its energy, and emptying, squeezing your vessel, drawing that energy right to your very center. Knowing more will come in the next breath in. Continue breathing in this fashion. as you expand and open the breath and squeeze the breath out. And perhaps consider adding a practice to this breath that is alternate nostril breathing. It's a balancing breath, and we are all seeking balance in our lives in some fashion. So you might like to add this practice and see what it feels like to you. So make a gentle fist with the right hand. And then relax open little finger and ring finger. It doesn't matter if they stretch out just so they're not tightly squeezed, and relax open the thumb. Bring that hand up in front of the face. You're still breathing, right? If you like, you might rest index finger and middle finger lightly on the space between the eyebrows, or simply allow those fingers to stay curled in. If your arm feels like it's squeezing in too tight here, make a little space. And if your arm gets tired or you just like the feel of it, take your left hand and gently support the base of your right elbow. Let that hand be nice and close to the face. Take a deep breath all the way in and let all of it out. Softly close the right nostril with the thumb, and as you breathe in, just breathe in through the left nostril. Same deep opening breath in. And as you breathe out and you squeeze that breath out, breathe out only through the left nostril. And then release the thumb, softly close the left nostril with the fingertips, and breathe in the right. And breathe out right. Release fingers, close right side with the thumb, and continue. So you're breathing all the way in and all the way out. One nostril at a time. Notice that it takes very little pressure to close that nostril to restrict the airflow, so you're just breathing through the opposite. If you notice more congestion one side than the other, be patient with yourself. You might find that this practice balances that and creates a little more openness, so you can breathe more freely through either nostril. If this feels uncomfortable to you at all, pause from the practice, continue breathing deeply and fully, and perhaps come back to try again. next time you exhale out the left nostril, allow your hands to release. And come back to a natural breath. And take a moment to notice how you feel. And roll your shoulders around. And allow the eyes to softly open. If you like the effect of that breath, I encourage you to consider practicing that breath. Maybe once or twice a day. Begin with, say, 10 deep breaths all the way in and all the way out. And build up to 20 or 30, which will still be a minute or two of your day. But if you appreciate the effect of the balanced breathing practice of alternate nostril breathing, you may decide that it is very worthwhile to take a minute or two of your day for this practice. And stretch your legs out. Rock the feet a little bit, wiggle the toes, roll the ankles. And then let's come onto our hands and knees and set ourselves up in table pose for some cat-cow breathing, flexing and extending the spine. So we add movement to the breath and allow the breath to guide the movement and the movement to guide the breath. So lengthen the spine, sit bones straight back, crown of the head forward. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And see if you can feel each pad in each finger and the thumbs. Press all the way out to the tips of the thumbs and the fingers. And when you're ready for your next breath out, as you begin to exhale and draw the navel toward the spine, round your back up and stretch it open. And as you inhale, lift your sit bones and think of stretching from the low belly right up to beneath the chin, gently lifting through the crown of the head. Exhaling, round. Inhaling, arch. Rounding, emptying. Arching, drawing that breath in. Let the breath feel like a wave of energy. And see how much stretch you can feel as the breath feeds the body. Notice where your spine yields to the bend. Notice where it doesn't. Honor your limitations, but gently work on nudging those limits a little bit. After your next breath, all the way out, come back to a nice neutral space. And let's gently stretch our hips a bit. for the benefit of our backs and our hips. Bring your right foot forward and try to stack that right knee right over the right ankle. Perhaps some props will help you find your way into that balance of effort and ease in your lunge. So the target for this stretch generally is the front of the left hip, which is on the other side that you can't see right now. But your body will feel that stretch in different places. So the blocks or your props allow you to lift and open the space around the heart and lungs, letting the arms just hang down from the shoulders and relax. And here you get to let gravity be your friend as you think of releasing your hips toward the earth, encouraging that stretch through the hips and thighs. As you inhale, lengthen the spine and open the space around the heart. As you exhale, see if you can softly, gently release the hips toward the earth. You might not feel movement, but you will feel stretch. Breathe with sensation and give your body an opportunity to yield as you breathe fully and deeply. If you're holding on to your props for dear life, soften that hold a little bit and maybe just allow the hands to rest lightly on the thigh. Or perhaps bring the palms together in front of the heart. Where are you holding on here? Where can you allow yourself to yield? And bring the hands back down. Bring the right foot back and exchange it for the left. Don't worry if you're starting out in a much higher place than perhaps I go to in my lunge. I've been practicing this a while. Work with your body, gently nudging those limitations, but honoring them to keep yourself free from injury. So again, left knee, right over left ankle. Set yourself up for your lunge. Place your props, if you like them, to support the hands gently. And open the space around the heart. And breathe as deeply as you comfortably can. If your mind is wandering away from the breath, from the stretch, perhaps you can stretch a little more. If you're clenching your teeth, squinting your eyes, don't work quite so hard. Perhaps hands come to rest, or they come together in front of the heart as you breathe deeply and smoothly. Release the hands down, move props out of the way, bring the left foot back, and take a moment to pause in child pose, Balasana, another nice release for the hips. So you can let the knees come apart just a little bit, let the hips sink toward the heels, let the torso release toward the thighs, perhaps your forehead comes down to rest. Perhaps you cross your forearms and rest the head. Choose a place for your arms where your shoulders feel at ease. And bring the awareness back to the breath. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders and press yourself up. Thighs come back to parallel. Walk your hands forward. Tuck under your toes. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Spread the fingers wide as you exhale. Press the hands into the mat. Lift the sit bones to the sky. Downward facing dog. Keep the knees nice and soft. Keep the feet a little wide for the moment. And really lift the sit bones and think about creating length. Come way up on the toes and press the thigh bones back. Relax the neck and jaw. And softly let the heels descend toward the earth. Continue extending, pressing the hands into the earth and seeing how far you can get your sit bones from your fingertips. We're going to move from downward facing dog to plank pose. Come back up on the toes. Bring the shoulders forward until they are above the wrists, and wiggle around a little if you need to adjust that. Now for some of us, we're going to be fine in a full plank, and some of us are going to be a little happier with our knees resting. Whatever works for you. Breathe here as deeply as you comfortably can. Remember the actions of the breath, expanding, opening as the breath comes in, and squeezing the breath out, drawing that strength, that energy right to your core. With your next breath out, once again, press the hands into the mat, send the sit bones far away, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Lower the knees. And come back to child pose for a moment, perhaps keeping the arms extended this time. Hands come back beneath the shoulders. Press yourself up. Thighs are parallel. We're going to come back to plank pose for a brief strength training. Strong women, strong men stay young. We need our physical strength to support our mental and emotional and spiritual strength. I've been adding 5 push-ups to my sun salutations every morning because I really want to build on that strength component. And what I will say is that upper body strength may be a little elusive for many of us, but it's very important for many reasons, but particularly if you happen to find yourself all the way down, you need your upper body strength to be able to get back up. So choose your plank and join me if you like. So knees might be resting or they're lifted. And we're going to consider some plank push-ups. Hug the elbows close. Elbow creases face each other. And the elbows are going to bend back. So back with the elbows and press up. Breathe in a manner that you find supportive as you practice. Four, 5, Press back to downward facing dog. Soften the knees and walk the feet forward. And hang like a rag doll in Uttanasana. Let the knees stay soft. Let the neck and jaw relax. Think about the muscles that line your spine and begin to engage them as you lengthen your spine. Perhaps hands come to rest on the thighs. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, press firmly through the feet and come on up. And come to the center of your mat. Just a couple breaths in and out, expanding and moving. But in Tadasana, so let's take the time to establish that standing pose, that secure place. Check in with your feet. Maybe rock them in and out to really feel them. Forward and back a little. And settle into your feet. See if you can feel them all the way around the outside edges of the feet. Kind of release that right into the floor. Engage the calf muscles so you're drawing them toward the shin bones. And engage the thigh muscles, thinking of lifting them up into the hip socket. So your legs are strong and steady. Lift a little bit from the low belly. And relax the low back. Give the shoulders a couple rolls. And let them softly settle into place. Let the palms turn forward slightly. And see how that translates all the way up to the space around the heart. So if this is the day-to-day kind of activity, because life seems to take us here, open your heart space and breathe deeply. Close your eyes for a moment. Just standing in mountain. Feel your secure connection to the earth and let the earth support you as you lift right up through the crown of the head. And bring the palms together in front of the heart. As you breathe in, stretch out and open and up and gaze up. And as you breathe out, float the arms back down. Let chin soften toward chest. Breathe in, stretch, open, reach out and up. Breathing out, releasing, squeezing the belly in. 2 more. Breathing, opening. Breathing out, releasing. And stand. So on those days when you don't have a lot of time for your yoga practice, something as simple as standing in mountain and taking in those big expansive breaths and squeezing them out might make a difference in the way you feel. Try it. Let's visit a standing pose for our balance, tree pose, something perhaps familiar to so many people, and some days it's much more challenging than others. We'll see what today brings for our tree pose. I know Mother Nature is providing remarkable inspiration as our trees are bursting into leaf, into blossom. What a welcome sight. So as you stand in mountain, begin to feel yourself connected to the trees. Their strength, their rooting to the earth for security. And they extend to the sky with their beautiful branches as they spread their beauty. Let's see what we can do. Let's let our right leg be the trunk of that tree. So grow roots from your right foot right down to the earth. And strengthen the leg. And shift the weight into that right leg. Not by swinging the hips, but by simply transferring the weight, and let the left leg just relax a bit. Let the knee be soft. Open the left knee to the side a little bit. No need to force it open. Hips stay relaxed and steady. And bring the palms together in front of the heart. And find that breath again. It's been there all the time, but maybe your attention wasn't so close to it. And as that breath feeds you energy, let it feed you steadiness as well. Find a place to focus your gaze softly. And then consider placing that left foot on the inside of the right leg somewhere, crossing it over perhaps, resting the toes, wherever you find steadiness. And breathe. Steadiness doesn't mean there's a lack of movement. It does mean you are secure in your connection. Grow some branches on your tree. And spread your fingers. And imagine the sun is encouraging your blossoms. Return the palms to the heart. Send that left knee forward. Release the foot down. Relax the arms. And notice how you feel. My right leg tree trunk feels like it did some work securing me to the earth. Let's share that sensation in balancing the body as we allow our left leg to be that support. Left foot securely placed, rooting down to the earth. Weight in the left leg, right knee softens. Open it gently to the side. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. And then explore placement of that right foot. And grow some branches on your tree. And extend right out through the fingertips. And feel the energy you are made of. Palms return to the heart. Right knee forward. Foot releases down. Stand in mountain and feel the effects of your practice. Those times when balance can be a little challenging, simply standing on one foot, challenging enough. There's nothing wrong with continuing your practice and placing fingertips or knee or some component on a steady, stable surface, resting the hand on the back of the chair, getting close enough to the wall. You are still working on your balance. There's nothing wrong with taking a little support. And now it's time for our relatively brief practice today to come back to a very important component of the practice, and that will be when we prepare to rest. But I want you to take a gentle twist when we lie down before you settle in for Shavasana, just to relax the low back and hips a little bit. So with the knees bent, feet resting on the floor, slowly, or maybe not so slowly, lower yourself down. And once you've come all the way down, draw the knees toward the chest and give yourself a hug. And maybe roll around a little bit on your back, and not roll so much as rock. If there are any places that feel good when you put a little pressure through there. And then allow the knees to stay close to the chest. Oh, and if you're more comfortable with a blanket beneath your head, now's a great time to add that. If it gives a little support, particularly if it helps to raise the forehead a bit so forehead and chin are level, often enough we find a strain, and maybe you don't feel it with your chin jetting skyward. So chin toward chest, back of the neck long, head resting. Extend the arms out from the shoulders. Face the palms to the sky and flatten the shoulder blades into the earth. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. And as you exhale, send the knees toward the left elbow, rolling onto the left hip, and slowly turn the head to the right. If you need a little bit of support under the knees, if they don't come easily to the floor, you can place a blanket or your block, something beneath the knees to catch them, so you can release into this twist. As you breathe in, notice if the body's holding on somewhere. As you breathe out, see if you can soften that holding. With your next breath in, slowly bring head back to center and knees back to center. And when you're ready, send the knees toward the right elbow, rolling onto the right hip, slowly turning the head to the left. And breathe here. With your next breath in, slowly return head to center, return knees to center. Wrap the arms around once more. Lift the head, curl the toes, and squeeze as tightly as you can, really hugging in, curling up into the tiniest ball you can make. And release. And rest. Let the arms come down. Let the feet come down. Extend your legs and see how that feels to your low back. If you're happy here, it's a great place to stay. If your low back feels challenged, bend the knees again. Take the feet to the outer edges of your mat and just let the knees drop toward each other in the center, and the legs will hold each other up. And perhaps your back will find its ease. Settle in here. Allow the breath to guide the body more deeply into rest. Feel the feet and ankles, calves and shins, knees and thighs relaxing and releasing their weight. As you breathe softly and smoothly, feel the hips sink into the floor. Let that ease make its way up the spine, from the base of the spine into the low back, into the space between the shoulder blades, into the back of the neck. And the spine is at ease in its full length. Release and relax through the hands and the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, and the arms. Simply relax. Feel the shoulders softening into the floor. And feel space and ease in the front and the sides of the neck. Feel the face soften with the breath. Softening between the eyebrows. Relaxing through the jaw. And the body is at rest. Allow the mind to keep its quiet company with the soft flow of the breath. If the mind wanders away, just bring it gently back to the breath as you relax and rest completely. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu. May the world be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Bless you. Peace.